Okay, it's time to clean another record, and we're going to continue having some fun with the record cleaning fluid Tergikleen. We introduced that last week and been experimenting with it, and I'd like to do a follow-up for you. But we had to pick a record first, and I've been accused of maybe focusing a little bit too much on jazz and classical records, so we wanted to break out one of our favorite rock records. This is Free's sophomore effort entitled Free. It's why it's a self-titled album. It's kind of odd. Their first album was called Tons of Sobs, but I think this is their best. To you, particularly to you young rock fans out there, you really should check this one out. The bassist, Andy Fraser, I think is one of the most underrated bassists in all of rock history. Oh, is he exciting. He bops everything he does. It just moves along like nothing else. Really cool bassist. We also have Simon Kirke on drums. He is solid as a rock, manages to do it with no loops or drum machines, so there's that. Paul Kossoff is the guitarist, perhaps one of the most insane and hard to reproduce vibratos in rock guitar history. Really, really fun to listen to him move those strings about, and he's got a fantastic tone. And then there's the great Paul Rodgers, one of the best singers in rock history. Listen to the way he enunciates the words he sings. He's like a horn in a tight horn section. So spot on, particularly the way the last syllable of the words are enunciated just at the right times. Really excellent singer. If you want to check out just one song to get a taste of this, see if it's your cup of tea, I would recommend Songs of Yesterday. In any case, let's take a look at what we have here. The catalog is 9104. Oh, and look at this. We have a sticker on here. Any of our fans in the UK remember Ron's Music Shop, Pioneer Market in Ilford? Huh? Kind of cool. Oh, and we do have a gatefold inner cover with a lovely lass. There you are. This record has been cleaned before, but it's been many years since we've done so I look forward to giving it a fresh clean. This is, of course, the iconic pink label from Island Records. I think what we have here is an original UK pressing. I don't believe a mono was ever pressed for this recording, but there are some misprints out there that say mono, but in fact they're stereo. That's kind of interesting if you have one of those. I bet that's valuable. This pink label was the fourth variation of Island Records inner labels, and Free, this album, was the first one to utilize it. I think it's referred to as the White Eye label. Why do I think we have an original pressing? Well, the cover itself is non-laminated. The inner label is a kind of a rough surface and is raised at the edges. You also have the producer, Chris Blackwell, in all capital letters. I think that means it's an original UK pressing and probably from the Orlake pressing plant. In any case, this has gotten dirty over the years. It's not particularly filthy, but we'll get it back to perfection. So looking forward to it. Let's clean this record. Caught our episode last week when we first tried Tergikleen. You'll note that we were speculating as to what it is made of, and we really weren't sure. Well, one of our subscribers found the data sheet on it. There's a link below so you can see for yourself what the chemical makeup is and what sort of tergitol, which is a Dow chemical surfactant, is utilized in the product. The data sheet also contains precautionary measures for using it. And I will note that Tergikleen themselves do recommend rubber gloves if you're going to go with a full-on manual process where you're literally dunking the record into a vat of liquid. I'm still not willing to do that, to soak the label like that, but we are going to use a method that we've been experimenting with that we think gets great results. You know, I've been thinking of Tergikleen almost like a paint remover, a good first step before a cleaning. And therefore, we're going to utilize the spin clean machine, fill it with the Tergikleen solution, and give it a good pre-soak. We'll then take it out. The record will obviously be wet, which is why I've put a rubber mat onto the cork mat of the suction type machine. So we'll bring off as much of the liquid as we can. We'll give it a few spins with a pure water rinse. Once we're done with that, we're going to put it into an ultrasonic machine, in our case the KL Audio, and let it go through one cycle and one drying cycle. Then we'll give it a listen and tell you what we think. Let's get to it. Okay, we've got our spin clean filled with the Tergikleen bath. The rollers are installed. Now we're going to insert the brushes into their slots. I like to give them a clean first. A little rinse as well. You don't want any cross-contamination there. And they slide in just like that. Ditto for the other side. There you go. We'll hit the record with the Giotto blaster and then into the spin clean bath. Okay. You don't want to rush on this. You certainly want to make several revolutions in both directions. By the way, if you're utilizing a spin clean in this method and do not have access to a suction type machine or an ultrasonic, you'll want to empty the Tergikleen bath and fill it up with ultra pure water and give it a rinse. But we're going to go ahead and put this into the VPI cyclone and utilize the suction to take off the liquid and then give it a few rinses. Give it a little jiggle. Also have a nice clean dry microfiber cloth behind me. Take off a bit of the water just to minimize how wet we get this mat here. There we go. Adding a little pure water. We're going to go ahead and put a second application of pure water just to make sure we take off as much of that surfactant as possible. Okay. With that process, we should have removed the vast majority of the surfactant that remained on the disc, so we'll give it one last hit with the Giotto blaster, then into the ultrasonic. We're going to go with a 5-minute cycle time and 4 minutes on the drying cycle. We did clean this several years ago and utilized an aftermarket inner. It's since gotten dirty all over again, so I'm going to replace that. All right, let's go give this a listen and prepare to get loud. Okay, final thoughts and for the record. If I seem a little out of breath, it's because we were rocking out to this album, cranking it up and dancing around the living room like a couple of teenagers. But seriously, if you're a rock fan and haven't heard of this, particularly you young fellas out there, do check this out. I think it's their greatest album. They put out quite a few. Over my shoulder, you might see one of their, probably their most famous record. It contained many hits, Fire and Water, Mr. Big, and of course the mega hit, All Right Now. No hits, no number ones off of this record, but I think this is the better record. As far as the Tergikleen process, I'm increasingly impressed with this product. Really enjoying using it in various incarnations, and I like a pre-soak in the Spin Clean particularly, and it worked well. This record sounded fantastic, dead silent. Also, one last thought, as far as the pressing is concerned, you guys know more about original pressings than I do. Take a look at what we've photographed for you and the run-out groove and what's on the label, and help us figure out what do we have here exactly. Is this an original UK pressing? We'd love to hear your comments below. Until then, we'll see you at the next record.